Focus. Look closer. Look.
Do not forget my stories, Senua.
She needs to look closer.
Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's. The Northmen say that in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. The power of the darkness gave life to the dripping ice, and the first giant was born, and was named Ymir. The ice continued to drip, and the power of the void gave life to it, and it became a cow, whose milk was a frost giant, a being of darkness. To break the seal, align the ravens with the mark of Valravan.
What are they? What does it mean? Which ravens? Where are they? Can't you see them? She can't see them. Look around. Look around. Try to find. Line up the ravens. Shh, 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 shh. Mother, I hear something. Silence me.
If you hear the sound of Valravan, follow it, and it will lead you to him. But be aware of his illusions. You can't always trust your eyes.
Uncommon, you see. You could call such a person a Gelt. Some, like Druth, become Gelt in search of penance. Others, like Senua, to purge a curse. Those who make it back are forever changed.
The Northmen say that Odin and his brothers killed Ymir, and that the world of men was formed from his corpse. Northmen say you must sacrifice in order to receive. They tell how the runes were revealed to Odin. The Northmen say that Odin is always in search of knowledge and wisdom and magic.
The song. Valravan's song. It's over here. It's over here.
Is that? It's over there. No, it's here. There's two.
Listen, focus.
Listen. It's magic. This reminds her of someone.
The forest.
Where? Which forest? Forest in the wild.
The wilds.
She left the wild. She went to the wilds a long time ago. Why did she go to the wild?
She wanted to fight her own darkness. She thought she could beat her own.
Did she beat her darkness?
No. It nearly killed her, but she tried.
Druth helped her.
If it wasn't for Druth, she'd be dead.
She can't beat her own darkness. She wanted to marry Dillion. She came to beat her own darkness and marry Dillion. But it didn't work.
She thought her curse would affect him.
She thought her curse would spread to him. She thought she'd bring the darkness to him too. She nearly died.
She thought the curse made her tainted.
Druth helped her.
And memory. And each day he sends them out to fly all across the world. The Northmen tell this story. Before the earth was created, there was a world called Muspel.
It was him.
He's waiting. Surt
Is waiting for you.
Find him.
The pyre.
The Northmen say that the defender of Muspel is called Surt. The Northmen believe that the world will be destroyed someday. The Northmen say that at Ragnarok, the sons of Muspel will travel to battle in the ship called Naglfar. The Northmen say that what we see as a rainbow is the bridge that goes from the world of men to the world of the gods. However you come to the gold-covered bridge that leads to Hell, you may find it guarded by a giantess. Hela possesses large dwelling places in Helheim. Tall are her walls, high are her gates. The Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigmund. His father's hall was built around a great tree, and one day Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whomever can release it. Many try. The sword comes out of the sea. Death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night. As the she-wolf licks the sweet honey from Sigmund's face, he bites the wolf's tongue. The she-wolf pulls away, but Sigmund holds on. The chains break, and he is free. After his escape, Sigmund lives like us, hidden in the forest. His enemy, King Sigurd, believing him dead, as his sister.
Day after day, watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance, wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
Sigmund's sister trades shapes with a sorceress, and in disguise.
The light by the tree.
Can you see him? You want to believe it.
Is he
It's not
there?
real.
Is he there?
You're alone in these mountains.
Is that Delia?
Nothing lives here. You won't survive. You met him by the tree.
She met him by the tree.
Maybe it's a sign, the tree.
What's he trying to tell you?
As Sigmund and Sinfjotli are being buried alive, Sigmund's sister throws an armful of straw into the grave mound. Hidden in the straw is Sigmund's sword, the gift of Odin. They cut their way out of the grave mound and set fire to Sigurd's hall. And here is the end of Sigmund's story. He was a fierce and great warrior who fought many battles.
Go to such lengths to bury death. Something so very ordinary, inevitable. It's as if we conspire to hide death, because we have no answer for it. But when it comes, and forces itself onto our friends or loved ones, then comes the reckoning.
Young woman warrior.
Don't go in there. Go in. You have to go in. Take the torch. It's too dark. Take it. This will help you. Careful. You have to be able to see.
Who's there? Dillian, I'm here. I'm here for the trials. Like when we first met, remember?
What's that? Did you hear that? Nothing. Was that voices? Is that his voice or the voice of the dead? Not Dillian. Dillian's calling to you. Can you hear him?
Herver disguises herself as a man to join a band of warriors, and soon becomes their leader. When they come to the island where her father is buried, her men do not want to go ashore. They say that evil haunts the island, and that it is a worse place by day than other places are by night. Fearless, she lands alone. There are many grave mounds, and all of them have ghostly flames burning over them.
She has to keep going. It's not
She comes to the grave mound of her father after passing through these ghostly fires, as though they were mist.
too scary.
I can hear him.
Down the Northman to hell. Within the burial mound, Herver calls on her father to wake from death and bring her his sword. She says that it is not seemly for the dead in their grave mounds to bear valuable weapons. Her father answers with words of warning. You go to your doom. Baleful runes surround you. You have gone mad. You have lost your mind. Your thoughts are confused. It is dangerous to wake the dead. Like I said, she reminds me of you.
Find another way. It's not working.
You have to use your mind. Where can you go?
You're failing. Find another
Think. Focus.
It's not him. It's not him.
We told you.
We told you it was a trick. That voice doesn't sound like Dylan.
What's happening?
It's not him. It can't be.
What's that sound? The voice is changing.
That's not.
Herver ignores her father's warnings. The grave mound opens. The Northmen tell this story about the death of Balder. It begins with dark dreams. Night after night, Balder dreams of his own death, and the gods fear for his life. So Balder's mother makes everything fine.
Is it working? You're still alive and Dillian's dead. He doesn't deserve to be dead. How does that make you feel? Do you think she remembers him?
The gods feast and rejoice and amuse themselves by throwing spears and stones at Balder, striking at him with sword and axe. But he comes to no harm, whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel. But Loki shapes himself into a woman and asks Balder's mother, "Is it really true that all things promise to keep him safe?" "I did not ask the mistletoe," Balder's mother confesses. "I thought it was too young." Oh dear.
Nobody will love you.
Can you remember what love feels like?
Look what happens
Best
to the
of
things she
chance.
loves.
She destroys the things she loves.
Loki makes a dart out of mistletoe and goes to the gods as they throw things at Balder. The blind god, Huth, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking part. Huth says, "I cannot see." The Northwind tell how the gods mourned Balder. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage.
He was the only.
Overcome with grief, the gods send Hermod to ride to Hell and ask Hela to let Balder return home. "All the gods are weeping," he says. "Are they?" asks Hela. "We shall see if he is truly missed. If everything in the world will weep for him, he shall go back to the gods. But if even one thing refuses, Balder stays with me." The gods send messengers everywhere. "Weep for Balder! Weep him out of hell!" And everything wept. Men, beasts, earth, stone, trees, metal, everything. Except for a giantess found in a cave. Balder was never mine.
Look what happens to the things you love. Why didn't she listen to her father? She thought she could defy him.
Was it worth it? You're still alive.
Dillian's only time.
The Northmen tell how the gods punished Loki for Balder's death. Northmen speak of a death moon. There was a Northman called Grettir, big, red-haired, immensely strong. I will tell you of a great hero named Sigurd, son of Sigmund, no less.
She'll have to go under.
She can't.
She has to.
She can't.
The torch will go out.
Don't let the torch go out.
She can do it.
You can't quit.
You have to rest here or you'll die. She's stuck. She hasn't found the roots.
Rain the dwarf's sole desire is to possess this dragon's accursed treasure, and he uses Sigurd to reclaim it. He tells Sigurd the story of Fafnir's gold, and the good-hearted hero promises to slay the dragon if Rain would forge a strong sword for him. Sigurd remembers that his father once possessed a sword given to him by Odin. Odin broke the sword to bring about Sigmund's death, but Sigurd's mother still has the pieces. And so Rain reforges the famous sword. Sigurd uses the sword first to avenge his father, and then he and Rain go in search of Fafnir.
It's here.
The light will keep us safe.
The light will guide you.
The dragon Fafnir is so large and deadly that it would be impossible to kill him face to face.
The beast is luring her deeper, deeper into the darkness. Deep, deep down.
The beast has the head.
She will be trapped.
The beast has the head and he's using it.
Once she gets down there, she'll never come out. It's luring her down.
The darkness will take her like it took her mother.
Deeper.
Although Sigurd kills the dragon, Rain wants to keep Fafnir's gold all for himself. Rain also wants the strength and wisdom of the dragon, so he drinks its blood and asks Sigurd to roast Fafnir's heart for him. Sigurd does so, but when he touches the roasted heart to see if it is done, he burns his finger. Without thinking, he licks his finger and tastes the dragon's blood. In that, Sigurd's newfound power lets him hear the birds speak, and they say Sigurd should kill Rain before Rain kills him. Sigurd should find Brynhild the Valkyrie, who sleeps an enchanted sleep. Sigurd heeds the bird. Sigurd learns that Brynhild had once disobeyed Odin, and so he had her punished. The Northmen say the world will come to an end. They call this Ragnarok, the destiny of the gods. First, there will be a terrible winter, 3 years long. Then, mankind will turn on itself. Brothers will fight each other to the death, and people will forget what they owe their kindred. Times will be hard. Crimes will be great. It will be an age of axes and swords. The wind will blow through abandoned halls. The Northmen say the gods will fight their last battle at Ragnarok. Their watchmen will blow the horn that can be heard through the whole world. And Odin will speak with the severed head of Mimir, which gives him good counsel. The land of the giants will thunder with the sound of their army on the move. The gods will assemble. The dwarves will leave their stones. The frost giants will come from the east. The Midgard serpent will turn up the waves. Eagles will scream and tear at the corpses with their yellow beaks. The ship of the dead will set sail. The Northmen say that at Ragnarok the gods will face a ship full of their foes, which Loki has steered to Asgard. It carries the fire giants, the wolf that will eat the sun, and all kinds of dark creatures. Surt will join them with his sword of fire. The cliffs will crash. Trolls will walk the land. Men will tread the road to hell, and the heavens will split open. Say that each god will do battle at Ragnarok. Odin will fight the monstrous wolf and be killed, but his son